Alright lads, Thurco here. Now, unless you have been living under a rock for the past 5 years, you will have heard the term Turael Skipping. Now, if you aren't aware what this is, it is basically the act of doing 9 tasks at Turael and 1 task at your highest Slayer Master to get really fast Slayer points. People also do it for like hunting boss tasks, because basically you can just continually skip shit tasks from Neve or Duradel, quickly do a Turael task, and then go get your boss task, go and get your pet or profit. Over the last few months I have done an absolutely ridiculous amount of Turael skipping whilst going for the Zuck pet. 214 KC it took. Can you believe that? No, neither can I, but it happened. We move on. But anyway, I did a lot of Turael, so I've decided to make a guide and hopefully show some people maybe a few spots and locations that they weren't aware of that can maybe help speed up their Turael skipping. Now, this guide's going to be mainly focused on like maxed mains or almost maxed mains, because that's what I've done most of my Turael on. But to be fair, I have been Turael skipping on my hardcore Iron Man recently, about 80 combat with not many teleports unlocked, and the info in this guide is going to be useful for you if you are in that stage as well. If you are on like a medium level account, you're probably going to just have to adapt how you get to the locations, but I am going to put like different methods of transportation, alternative routes, stuff like that on the screen whilst we go through the tasks. So if you don't have a max cape, don't worry, you'll be fine. And first of all, the max cape is not required. If you don't have a max cape, which I'm guessing most people don't, just bring an assembler or accumulator and then swap out one of your staminas or bracelets for a method of getting to the bank. And then you're also going to want to bring house tabs. Aside from that, the gear itself is pretty self-explanatory. It's just absolute max range, the best range gear you can bring. Listening to this back right before I upload it, I realised that for Iron Men, having a blowpipe isn't self-explanatory like I say. For you guys, magic shortbow imbued with rune arrows that you can get from LMS is probably your best bet. So yeah, go with that, you'll be fine. Now, the inventory is a bit quirkier. Obviously we have the cannon and cannonballs. The rope is for skeleton tasks. Ectofile is for zombie tasks. Explorer's ring is for cow tasks. Slayer's ring for getting back to Neve if you're doing Neve. These runes are various teleports / NPC contact, spellbook swap, stuff like that. Skull Scepter is for getting to the stronghold of security for Minotaurs and Wolves. Varrock for rat tasks. Ardoin for bear tasks, don't laugh at how I said Ardoin. Lumbridge for spiders and goblins, and then just staminas, bracelets, a range pot, and a restore. You probably won't use these. I range pot for dogs and lizards, and I think some other places off the top of my head I can't remember, but you don't really need it. Now, teleports that I use from my max cape, which are mostly POH teleports, but also Tavily. So dwarf tasks are at Tavily, so you're going to want to get a method of getting to there, whether it's Falador teleport and run north, or a construction cape, or redirection scrolls. I also have my dig site pendant mounted in my house, so if you don't have the construction level to mount a dig site pendant, then you want one of them for bats and skeletons. And I also use the Hasidius or Korend portal to get to the catacombs for ghost tasks. Another thing to note is that if you don't have Lumbridge Elite done, you are going to be using the Fairy Ring quite often. So I have a Fairy Ring in my house. If you don't have one, then you're going to want maybe an RD Cape 1 to teleport to a Fairy Ring, and a Drayman Staff if you don't have Lumbridge Elite done. If you don't have the mage level for spellbook swap, you're going to need to bring Lassar teleports. You can buy them as tablets, I'm pretty sure, off the Grand Exchange. They just take you to Ice Mountain for Icefiend tasks. It's highly recommended to make sure that your Skull Scepter is imbued. You can do this by creating a full Skull Scepter and then you take it to the guy that is at the chest where you get the fancy or warrior boots from, and he just imbues it, and that basically means that it doesn't degrade when you run out of charges. You just have to keep recharging it with more skull pieces, which you'll get plenty of them from Minotaur tasks, so as long as you keep a lookout for them whilst you're doing Minotaurs, you'll be all good. You also need a light source for cave slimes and cave bug tasks. That's in the max cape for me, so For you, maybe a broom, a torch, or a lantern, something like that. Probably a candle maybe, so that you can leave it in your inventory. Just any sort of light source. Now obviously this guide is focused on max mains, like I said, just because that's how I play the game, but obviously everything I've just said does have alternatives, and I will try and point them out where I can. But if you feel like I've missed something, feel free to let me know and I'll put a little note in the description or something. You might notice that Calfights is a task that Turael assigns, but I don't have any way of getting to the Calfight lair. That's because unless you're doing Calfight Queen, they should be the first thing you block, because Neve assigns them and Duradel assigns them, so you're going to get them a lot, but Turael assigns them as well, so you can't skip them. So if you're trying to Turael skip and you get a Calfight task, you're not going to be able to skip it, and you're going to be stuck with a task of 200 plus, which is going to take a long time. So if you're not doing Calfight Queen, block Calfights. Alright, time to go through each and every task and show you how it's done. Let's go.